Hello and welcome to week 2 of my Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes spending focused account, where I aim to spend roughly £50 a month on accelerating this account in the early game after the new changes to the economy that CG has introduced. If you do enjoy this video, I would be very appreciative if you gave a like and subscribed. So I'm going to be going over what I've been working over in the past week, and also some of the changes that have come into the game and how I'm planning on handling those. Mainly the changes to Coliseum, but also, as you can maybe see by my Cantina energy hoard, we have triple drops coming, which is very exciting. So I've got a bit of a head start on hoarding for Cantina energy, and I'll roughly go over my strategy for that. So what have I been working on in the account over the last week? It's really been a tale of getting characters I need for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren up to their relic requirements. If we go to my farming plan, we'll see I've been able to get both of the Kylos up R7. I'm waiting on old Papa Palps to unlock through a Lightspeed token, so I haven't made any progress on him. But if we go over to the raid currency, I've been able to make a head start on the relic materials. I already have enough Electrium conductors, and I'll get enough Zimbados just by going through the episode track. So I'm pretty much there for him. I've also been every day I'm farming episode currency. Nope, I'm getting ahead of myself. Signal data. I've got a nice little stockpile, which I think is nearly enough to both take Palpatine up to R7 and then also SLKR when I lock him. I think we'll just need to farm a little bit more for Blizz stuff, and with triple drops coming, that should not be a problem. So I'm looking all set to unlock SLKR pretty soon. The other thing I've done is I finally got round to completing the finalizer event, which thank goodness I was able to get at 3 stars, because I refused to put on too much additional gear onto the ship, so was actually kind of struggling with the event at quite low ship levels and ability levels, but managed to get a nice one of RNG and get the 3 stars. So this, I believe, will just be 5 days or 4 days before I can unlock this guy. Yeah, so 5 days, so 10 shards a day, and I will get finalizer. I get shard currency. That's a waste. I'll just have to wait 5 days, and I think that will line up pretty much exactly with the release of the Palpatine Lightspeed token. So we're looking at around Tuesday, Wednesday next week. I should be able to start the SLKR unlock, which is pretty good. I still need to farm his gear, but I'll be able to do that while I work on Galactic Legend tickets, etc. So after I finish the relics with the requirements, I'll then start to divert raid currency to SLKR himself. So we're looking in the next couple of weeks, I should have my first GL up and running, completely courtesy of the Lightspeed bundles. Of course, I think I will actually take him up to R8, just because I'm feeling pretty flush with R8 materials after the anniversary gifts, and also the reward track, and also we're getting everything we need for an R10 material, which also includes the impulse detectors and the cards you need for R8 and R9 anyway. So I'll have a pretty great head start on this material, so I think it would make sense just to double down on SLKR, as he will be pretty much my only team, and I think treat him to an R8. I'm still a bit undecided, as it's maybe not 100% needed, but I think we'll see it. So that is stage 1, the very easy stage of unlocking SLKR. After that, and pretty much at the same time, to be honest, that the Palpatine Lightspeed token comes out, the second 2 Phoenix tokens come out. So I was able to complete the quests quite easily for Hera and Sabine, a little help to my main account for loaning out a Boss Nass, which proved pretty handy. I think I've completed most of the quests apart from the Omicron one, but I'll get around to that eventually. Yeah, and then I should have these two, and I've just farmed Kanan up to gear 12. I'll probably leave him there for now, and if I have a spare Zeta, stick that on him, and this will be a good powerhouse for a couple of assault battles, and also probably my secondary team early on. If we move along the old farming path, Tarkin, I have bit the bullet and put 2 Zetas on him for the raid. They both help a little bit, the unique I think more so, but I think the leader also comes with a few bonus stats. So this is basically in the pipeline for probably either my 3rd relic, maybe after Padawan Obi-Wan, just to help with the raid for my guild. They've come out with guidelines for getting everyone at least 300,000 by the end of the year, which I think is perfectly reasonable. I like being in a guild where everybody is incentivized to progress, so this will help with personal raid rewards and overall guild reward. And also we'll be getting Jedi Vanguard Lightspeed tokens at the end of December, which will be my 2nd team in the raid, and I think that's where I'll stop. I've ditched farming Scorch, to be honest. I think I'm happy with these 2 teams for my raid contribution. The only other thing I've been working on is starting the Profundity grind, and that's mainly starting the character farms and the ship farms. A lot of these are just simple currency farms. Some are Lightspeed tokens that come to Drogon. Some are energy farms like Admiral Radis, but I think we've got different plans for how I unlock Radis, so I'll go over that in a bit. And I've also started just slow farming troopers. One change I've made is I've subbed in Dart Trooper, and I'll explain why in a bit. I think normally probably not worth it, just because I want Challenge Tier 1 for this assault battle, but given an extra reward that we'll be getting, I think this might make sense, to be honest. I think that's where I'll stop. I've ditched farming Scorch, to be honest. I think I'm happy with these 2 teams for my raid contribution. The only other thing I've been working on is starting the Profundity grind, and that's mainly starting the character farms and the ship farms. A lot of these are just simple currency farms. Some are Lightspeed tokens that come to Drogon. Some are energy farms like Admiral Radis, but I think we've got different plans for how I unlock Radis, so I'll go over that in a bit. And I've also started just slow farming troopers. One change I've made is I've subbed in Dart Trooper, and I'll explain why in a bit. I think normally probably not worth it, just because I want Challenge Tier 1 for this assault battle, but given an extra reward that we'll be getting, I think this might make sense, to be honest. So this is all that's on deck. These are just how I've split the farms into their various energies and just chipping away at them. I won't go over these in too much detail, not particularly close to any of them, but with the double jobs we had, I think I made pretty good progress, especially on beers. Started farming the Wicket as well. So character farming going well. Ships. So this is quite a broad farming approach, mainly because a lot of these ships require currency, so I'm just picking them up from the Galactic War store and the Free Currency store as and when they appear. So quite a large selection on decks. I'm basically working on all of the Home 1 ships like Raven's Claw, Biston's U-Wing, but also there's a huge overlap with profundity requirements, which I'm rushing. So I think that's all gone pretty well. I'll go through some of the stores I've been buying these in. I've been, for the moment, single refreshing Raven's Claw and Outrider. The big thing to compare these 2 ships with is Biston's U-Wing, who I think will be the main blocker or the last ship I'll finish farming for Profundity. So I'm trying to just keep them in pace with Biston's U-Wing. If they start to get way far ahead, I'll slow it down to no refreshes. But today I had a bit of a realization that I could actually be farming Biston's U-Wing a little bit quicker than I have. I don't believe it's in the store now, it's not. But this ship occasionally pops up in the guild event currency store. I'll go into that. So it will pop up around here where these ships are. I think as I'm not going for farms like Wampa, or I don't even know if Wampa, what other ones you use? Yeah, Wampa, Hermit Yoda, those are a little while off as is gas. I think I'm fine using that currency just to accelerate Biston's U-Wing, because I'll be rushing for Profundity, so I think that's a good use, because I was a little worried about the U-Wing popping up in this store enough. It's currently at quite a slow pace, so I'll just be able to accelerate that a little. So in terms of other things I've been buying, just the currencies, episode shipment, we got a refresh that now includes signal data, a bit more of a need for a green one. I might pick up fragmented soon. I've been buying Omicrons just to get ahead of things for characters like Bo. That might come quite soon in the future. At the moment, I don't have an Omicron need at all. It would just be Rex and Padawan Obi-Wan. So really no rush. I've nearly got 2 already, so that's all good. Era shipments. So this is the big one. So I'll go over my progress in terms of Coliseum in a sec. I've broken it down into a bit of a chart, but I've made decent progress. I'm pretty much halfway towards a Lightspeed token. So I have been spending a little bit of crystals and also a little bit of real money as well. Do I think it's necessarily worth it? I'm not completely sold. There's pros and cons. This is a spending account, so it may be this is one of the best ways to spend money apart from Lightspeed bundles, but we'll have to go over that, because you can buy these with hard cash for £15, as I'll show you actually right now. They are in the store for the Mandalorian faction, which you can buy the equivalent for £15. And in terms of crystal value, I definitely spent more than that on not even getting to halfway in terms of how much the crystals would cost to buy. But the difference being that this is a much more restrictive Lightspeed token, and the ones in the store I can use on any character, so they have a little bit more value to me initially in terms of being able to pick and choose. So far I'm focusing on these. I might slow it down a little bit, see how things shake out with the next marquee. Maybe I won't need to push that much. But yeah, we'll see how things get on with this currency. But so far, good progress towards that. So I've also been picking up Cassian's U-Wing. I don't actually have enough currency, unfortunately. Guild store. So my guild has finished its, the first raid since I've joined, which has been great. I've spent all of that currency, but I've been able to relic 7 both crew and Kylo Ren unmasked, and have enough electrum conductors for Papa Palps. So this is definitely a huge change with the economy updates, is that relic 5 to 7 farm is so much easier. It would take a lot of just sort of scrapping and waiting for this get 3 to roll around. You can see I haven't spent any of this, and I only have 1250, so I would be waiting ages to get to relic 7 before. But in the space of one raid, I've been able to have 2 R7s and nearly 3 essentially, and the same goes for this get 1. So this is a huge change. It will make it easier to go for those higher relics for requirements, so I'm pretty happy with how that's shaken out. Yeah, so I haven't started buying actual gear from the store. I'm going to wait till I have the SLKR requirements so I can start the Galactic Legend ticket grind. But I've been chipping away at the gear for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, mostly from Conquest. You can pick up gear there, and then also from bits and pieces that we can get from the store. So good progress there. Fleet, just waiting for the big ships to appear. Picking up these Rebel ships. So I've gone from 5 stars to 5 stars and 60 pretty quickly. So these should be very quick farms, as the same with the Phoenix ships. So great progress here. That's really it in terms of currency. In terms of what else I've been getting, I think we can Galactic Arena, is that what it's called? Galactic Championship GAC, Grand Arena. I'm a bit ill today. Not quite firing. I think I went 1 and 2 last time. The 1 is entirely my fault. I forgot to do a battle just because it's not terribly interesting at this stage. So it just slipped my mind. Not too worried about the rewards. I'm sure as soon as I get SLKR, I will rocket up a couple of divisions in Carbonite. Again, GAC should not be the focus, I think, for a new account. Just use what you have. Basically should be the mantra. So if we pop back into the inbox, a little bit of daily crystals from that. Squad Arena, I'll be able to climb up a bit of a while. I'll be able to climb up a bit more after SLKR. Fleet. Now this has been the surprise for me, is I'm still able to fight for rank number 1, and I'll go over the fleet situation next. But that's been a surprise, and I've been able to continue with quite good crystal progress, hovering around 9,000, and that's after spending a lot on the Coliseum. So I think crystals are looking good. I do expect this to dip down as weeks go on, as Lightspeed bundles come out, but I'm hopefully accelerating Profundity enough to counteract that. So let's claim that, a little bit of a GT, and yeah. So let's hop over to fleet. Still rank 1, it's just been my payout, so that should be no surprise. And why am I surprised to be rank 1? I'm surprised because we are getting more and more negotiators. Now it's not as bad as it looks, because there are negotiators, but they're negotiators that have been picked up from the JMK Lightspeed bundle, so they don't actually come with any of the ships. So people have just been running like their finalizer bundle ships under the... So yeah, they don't really synergize, but it's still... I can't quite beat them just because they basically start with AoE days and a few other quite limiting moves that make it quite hard for me to get the win with my current fleet, which is the sort of hodgepodge of Finalizer and Bounty Hunter. I've had good success with this. I've sort of moved away from full Bounty Hunter because some of those ships aren't that high relics from the pilots, but I've had good success basically using Houndstooth as the tank, using this as a support to feed turns to Kylo Ren on Mass Ship, who sort of builds up damage over time and can start just taking ships out. So I think it's quite a good setup if I play it correctly, but I'll be looking to move to the home one fleet as soon as possible. So great stuff there. So I'm just going to jump in here and quickly go over my strategy for the triple drops that are coming out on the 28th of this month. It's currently the 26th as I'm recording this. So we got this news the day before, so on the 25th. So I unfortunately didn't have any refreshes left to spend and start hoarding up energy. So I'm about a day behind what I would normally want to do for hoarding. I've chosen just to hoard mod energy and Cantina energy. Cantina energy is a no-brainer for increasing that signal data income. Mod energy, I am at the point where I've sort of started to farm a base of mods, so would like to start purchasing some mod upgrade materials. The other two I'm not going to hoard, and that is because I'm in a very heavy farming phase at the moment where I'm using all of this energy for hard mode farms. If we just jump into let's see the farms, so take beers as an example. You can see that once you complete 5 sims, you then have to spend crystals to refresh. So when it comes to double and triple drops, you get diminishing returns by hoarding energy for these hard node farms, because eventually you're spending so much crystals on the refresh that you're not actually saving much anymore. So when I'm focused on farming characters, what I might tend to do is farm as normally up until the day, and then on the day maybe refresh potentially into the hundreds if I really need to accelerate a character. I don't think that's the case at the moment, so I'm just going to stay relaxed, do so I continue to spend fleet and normal energy to do my dailies to help the guild, and then focus on these two for triple drops. And mostly I might be able to pick up more of this from the web store, which I'll start to hoard up and not use. So yeah, that's the plan for triple shops in 2 days' time. The other big thing that's happened is Coliseum. So this, towards the end of last week, had actually stagnated quite a bit. The way the structure works out is that if you don't spend on money for packs from the next grade of error materials, you capped out at level 16, because it was basically impossible to reach the 10% tier of tier 2. So you basically had all of these accounts, including mine, at level 16, just fighting the RNG gods to maybe pop up ranks to try maybe get into the 60 to 90 or even 31 to 60. So it was not fun, to be honest. It really just felt like, does my team get AoE wiped out to start? If no, then I can maybe climb a little bit higher. But there was times where every time I got AoE wiped out, so I just, SOL there. But what's changed? So they have sort of removed the damage cap that was eventually reducing the damage you can do down to 1 eventually, but has also seemed to have increased like the damage you can perform at the start of the event. So we're just able to deliver way more damage. I think the bosses also seemed a bit more tuned down, to be honest. I wasn't getting wiped out at the start, so I was actually able to start progressing in these tracks. So I've just moved on to a new boss. So I'll do a couple of battles here. But as you can see, I've moved past level 16 up to level 17, and should hopefully, if things go well today, move up to level 18. So I'm able to kickstart that progress, which is nice. It's still not the most fun game mode in the world, and there's definitely a lot of pay-to-play issues with it, even as a spender. So yeah, not a fan of it, but we make do with what we have. So before I just begin wiped out, there's still I think variations. I normally just start with AoE. I'm not sure if that's the best move, but yeah, this is what I've been going with on my other account as well. Seem to be getting alright rewards. So let's hopefully... So that's definitely going a little bit worse than my other account for sure. We just need to hope we get to that 10%, which I think we should be able to do. A nice dodge. Up to 9, up to 10, there we go. So what I have potentially noticed is, and I need to check, this is maybe just confirmation bias. I swear I tend to consistently perform worse on this account compared to my main account. Same error level, but on my main account I've gone all the way up to eventually 7 stars, 6 stars initially. But seem to perform a little bit better in terms of damage and sustain. So I'm wondering if the star levels does have a slight impact on the performance of their characters. I'd need to double check that. But so yeah, why the changes are better is I'm now actually able to start progressing again and move up to level 18, which is fantastic. I'll do one more battle to see if we can progress again, but this, yeah, not the most thrilling. It would be lovely to get some crits, which I'm not doing. They're definitely doing less damage than my main. It's interesting. This could be completely fictitious, but yeah, not landing any crits as well. Yeah. Heal. Okay, let's see if we go around to this again. Starting to struggle. Another dodge would be fantastic. Oh, this is good. Okay. See, as you can see, now we're able to get to the 20% tier, which I think might stop us for today, but we'll roll on to the next day. Which is, oh, good. Yeah, 75. Good progress in leader. I don't know if I'll stay in the top 60. Well, I'll have to wait and see. But if we go to error units, can't level up just yet, but I've made good progress. So next day when the new boss rolls around, I should be able to get up to level 19. And it's nice to at least make progress again, even though it feels still completely artificial. At least I'm making some form of progress each day, which I guess this game's on about. Oh, let's go through, I teased this earlier, Lightspeed token usage. So I think as I showed last week at the end of the episode track, which progressing through, I think, reasonable rate, we have these Droid Lightspeed tokens. Now they both get the character up to Relics, this to Relic 3, this to Relic 1, which is great. Droid is a weird faction in that there's not a lot of obvious good early game characters or upgrades to make, and the ones that are covered by other Lightspeed tokens. So for example, IG-88 and IG-11 will both be Lightspeed tokens, same as Chopper, so those are ruled out for me. Chupio is not a Lightspeed token, but we are getting that Droid Lightspeed token next year, which I plan to use on Chupio, and I think I'm fine waiting till then because that will come at the end of unlocking most of the CLS team. So I think I won't need him till then anyway, and also I will get him up to 7 stars. I won't have to farm him. This would only get him up to 5 stars, so it would still be a bit of sort of hard node farming. So, and you'll get the Zeta, so I think it makes sense to wait on Chupio. The other candidates would of course be Sortie, needed for Leviathan. I am way off Leviathan. I think most likely by the time that rolls around, there will be other Lightspeed tokens I can use, and I'll be at a slightly annoying team of JAC, I guess, early on, but I want to try focus resources into fleets and assault battles earlier on. So I think it makes sense to not use it on Sortie. Same for the Afra droids, and same really for the Separatist droids, mainly because they're just not a super viable team, especially sort of mid to late game, and would require a lot of Zetas to get up and running, and I'd only be getting one. I've got no interest really in working on the Separatist team. I'm not farming I'm very ill. I'm not farming General Grievous' ship. So that leaves, I think for me, 2 options for both of the tokens. The first one is K2SO. So I'll be farming the Profundity, which means I'll have 4 of the 5 characters for that Profundity team. So that will be the 5th at Relics, ready to slot him. He's also a pilot in Cassian's ship, which will be part of my either of my 2 main fleets early on. So I think it makes sense to use it on K2SO, just I don't have to go out of my way and relic him early, and I think I can get good use out of him early on, mainly as a pilot and rounding out that Profundity, that Radis team. The second, I think, I've thought a lot about this. I think I'll use it on Dark Trooper. He's not a requirement for anything, and his team does fall off quite a bit, but is part of the 2 assault battles. I was initially planning on just not using him in that assault battle team, but I think having him at Relics should be able to let me push maybe to higher challenge tiers in those assault battles. And also, I think we'll give, because I'll be farming the other Imperial Troopers anyway for that assault battle, will give me just a better early game team. He costs Kyrotex. I think given the lack of good other options and all other requirements are just for farms that are probably at least 2 years away, I think it makes sense in terms of how much value can I add early on. I think it makes sense to go for Dark Trooper, and just a lot of fun as well. So I think it will be Dark Trooper and K2SO. So that is the episode track Lightspeed tokens. What about the era shipment tokens? So as you've seen, I've made good progress, about halfway. So we can think maybe, let's say about 10 days from now, so start of December, I'll be able to make my first Lightspeed token purchase, which is very exciting. I've narrowed it down to 2. I'm pretty sure who I'm going to go for early on. And those 2, I think, are both attackers handedly. There's a lot to choose from. So one is Padawan Obi-Wan. I'll be using the Jedi Lightspeed token on either him or Qui-Gon, so I think it makes sense to use this free range token on the other one early on, so I can get an assault battle up and running very quickly and start getting those rewards. And I think Padawan Obi-Wan makes more sense just because he has a little bit more viability on his own in Conquest, so I'll just be able to extract a little bit more value for going for him rather than Qui-Gon early on. So it's really a toss-up between those 2. The other option, and I think who will be my second Lightspeed token. I think it's a bit of a curveball, but is Calcatar. So Calcatar, like K2SO, is a sort of additional character to go into my Home 1 fleet, who's not a requirement for Profundity, but will help power that second fleet, Home 1, and also should mean I have a good Raven's Claw up and running early on, which is fantastic. He's a Cantina farm Karatech character as well, and also a Star Killer requirement. And because I'll be farming Dash anyway down the line, I'll be 2 at Relic 5 down the line for Star Killer by the time I finish Profundity. So in terms of bolstering my fleet game early on, I think it makes sense to go for Calcatar. After I do these 2 initial purchases, I will then pivot fully to using these tokens for Profundity requirements. I'm not in a particular rush just because I'm going to have to wait on the ships getting farmed anyway. So the order is going to be Padawan Obi-Wan, Calcatar, then I'll probably go for either Radis or Mon Mothma. And that's why I'm not particularly farming those characters. At the moment, I will hope to use these Lightspeed tokens on them. So yeah, that's the in-depth details to a little bit of a statistical summary of midway my spending so far, and also progress in the Coliseum and Fleet Arena. So I've only spent on this era level material pack for a bit of trying to see how sort of good performance early on will get me. I don't know if this is something I'll repeat for the next marquee, but £5 sort of ticks up my total spending to 84 to go with all of the packs I bought in the first week. So I'm going to slow down my spending probably over this month and next month to get back to that £50 a month target over time. In terms of Coliseum, as you can see, sort of initial good performance then started to slowly drift down just as more people caught up. So it became a case of RNG. If I got good RNG, I could hit 300 era currency. If I got bad, I'd be all the way down after rank 90 getting 100. This uptick is actually after the changes to the Coliseum came in, and I actually bought a cheeky refresh of the battles just to get a jump start on progressing again and sort of using the leveled up character. I was able to jump up all the way to the 300 rank. Yeah, that I think I just got excited there. Probably not the best use of crystals, but hey-ho. So we're looking around the 200th, maybe a little bit more actually on average. And so yeah, halfway there towards a Lightspeed token after just over a week. I think that's 8 days. Yep, that's 8 days of rewards. This is what I've spent in terms of crystals and buying the pack. I did that very early on, sort of day 1 and day 2, to get that head start. I'm going to do a bit more of a deep dive into the value return on this and start to try and value those Lightspeed tokens a bit more and how much are they worth to me. But yeah, I think the jury's out on whether this is useful. I think it's good to get a bit of a head start if you can, but at what cost? I think, and this is how far I've leveled him up. So, fleet, really happy with this over the last week or so. I just started recording my placements each day to keep track of that. I hit rank 1 more often than not, which I'm very surprised at. The lowest I dropped was into the top 10. So a good solid crystal income early on. So yeah, I'll keep building this data and seeing where the account takes me. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching if you made it this far. And yeah, please like and subscribe if you did enjoy this content, and comment if you have any feedback for me. That'd be very appreciated. Thank you very much, and see you next time.